corn's starting to turn. Everything's starting to dry up, so that to me means that that fall is upon us, right? In this episode, I'm gonna go ahead and get that sleeper completely framed in. I'm gonna try and get the roof all framed in. I'm just not wired for cold weather, and I wanted to be able to go out and back out west. In the first couple of months of this year, while it was still cold, I don't know, I crossed the United States from coast to coast, and then crossed from the Great Lakes all the way to Florida. I drove, I went and visited some friends up in Niagara Falls, and then I picked up some equipment in different parts of the country around where I'm at. I love the whole Yellowstone, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah. Oh my God, Utah, that's like the most beautiful state. I have plans to do maybe some really adventurous things, like maybe doing the Pan American Highway tour from Alaska to Argentina. It'd be a long drive. Moving forward with the camper build, I went to Lowe's this morning. While I was there, I saw something I thought might be useful. These metal, only because they're welded, and I didn't want to do any welding on this thing, but hey, look, if it's already done, why not? Okay, well, space doesn't really allow for me to get a camera in here and do this at the same time, so I just want to show in between these two extensions that I put for these metal brackets. I don't know that these metal brackets are really necessary, but I mean, I think they were $11 a piece, and they're welded, so I don't figure it can hurt to throw those in. I've got 4 of them. If it increases the load up here by 10 pounds, I would be thrilled to tears. I know that I have other things in here that have these brackets holding, I don't know, 100 pounds, and they're holding fine. So I just put them in for, again, added insurance. I tend to overbuild. So. That sawhorse back there, the leg collapsed on it a couple of nights ago, and this thing came crashing down. Good news is it all held together just like it was intended to. Bad news is one board on this thing on the other side is a little bit warped, so I've got to figure out what to do with that. Other than that, everything is good. It just kind of moved up the lift system in priority a little bit. So I'm going to explain to some degree how I intend to build the lift system. So what I did was I went and I picked up these receivers. I'm going to mount this on this top rail of the bed. If I set it back far enough that this front plate is flush with the outside rail, I have this real nice receiver portion that I can just keep a cap in it when it's not in use. But the idea for me is that you just come out, you install these hitches. From the inside, there will be a little door right here where you can just set the pin. That way the receiver's locked in. That way somebody can't come and steal it either. And it leaves this nice little divot, I guess, for lifting. I'll tell you what, it is a lot better than going out and buying trailer jacks, because those people are on crack. They think that, you know, $1,500 to $2,200 is reasonable for trailer jacks. I disagree. Is that I would install these plates. I would drill holes in the sides. I would route out a section underneath the bottom here, put 1/4-inch plate steel to just beef up this corner, but it would still be flush with the bottom, so it would ride right on top of the rail. One of these would be on the other side facing the opposite direction, and I'm going to sling this around just a little bit. So the idea is that there would be a 2-inch bar that would go from this side to the other side, and it would be welded into these brackets. With the 1/4-inch plate, 4 bolts, no more than this thing weighs. The center of it is the heaviest point on the whole unit. But let me get on to the proposed construction of these jacks that I want to build. So what I'm considering doing is I'm going to walk over and I'm going to film this for you too, but I have this idea that I want to do a lift system that's based on an outrigger like you would find on a backhoe or a tractor with a bucket. So I have this steel, and it's, you know, 2-inch square tubing, 1 7/8 inside of it, and I can put some grease fittings in this, sand this down nice and make it so it'll slide in and out nice and easy. I could put them on swivels so that they're permanently attached to the unit, but driving down the road, why do you want to have your outriggers on there? Yeah, they'll weigh 30 pounds a piece, but I mean, that shouldn't be so bad. But what I'm considering doing is making a lift system for this, a hydraulic lift system, kind of a single leg outrigger. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk. I happen to have a backhoe. It's an old one. It's not running. I can't take the outriggers off it. They're way too big. But what I can do is use it to show you what I'm thinking about doing. Now this old backhoe is no longer operational. It actually would cost more to fix it than the thing was worth. I might do something with it in future projects. So these outriggers are really pretty simple stuff. Is the best way that I can show you what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about taking part of the vertical, the 2-inch square tubing, putting another leg coming out to the side. Maybe I'll use the 1 7/8, who knows, just because it would fit inside easier. And then mounting an actuator in between, exactly like that, welding up the little feet just like that, and making a single pole outrigger. I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm gonna have to eat a little crow here. In the last video, I said that from concept to completion, my intention was 6 weeks. Well, you can build this thing in 6 weeks. That's really not a question. The problem is that since this is more or less a prototype, there are some conditions or some situations that are going to probably prevent me from doing this 6 weeks. One of the situations that I run into was, if you look at the, trying to hold the thing here. Okay, so if you look right up there, that's where the air conditioner goes. The air conditioner that I had picked out for this was a Dometic 2 high capacity, low profile air conditioner slash heater. But unbeknownst to me, Dometic is reported that they are 1,000 units on back order. May have to ship this thing or put it on the road without it. I mean, we're getting to be wintertime. Notice coat. Not a fan of cold weather. I just finished boxing in the section underneath where I showed you those brackets are earlier. What I ended up doing was doubling up the 2x4s on this and then putting a faceplate out here in front of it. Faceplate to keep the spacing on the gussets the same. I have 2 solid balls, one that goes on the outside of this one that sits approximately 22 inches forward of that comes across. That makes that center area a closet. It'll be the same on the other side. But then once I get this outer wall erected, I have to get the sheet up here first, of course. But once I get that outer wall, it will connect to the end of this beam ahead, overhead. That will be tied into the one on the other side because, like I said, again, for about the 50th time, that's where the air conditioner sits. I want it to have all the support that it can. So I think we're gonna be good on the support element of it. The shape of the front is pretty well defined now. I have to put some cross bracing into it. This outer section right here, like I said, it'll come in, it'll hit that about where that wall for the closet is, and it will step out and match the contour going down for the rest of the camper. I have to do some, this is actually going to get cut off. The window that I had decided to put in here was supposed to be 30 by 30. I discovered that camper windows have their own dimensions, and they're nothing that you'd think about. Things like 25, 31, and crazy numbers like that. So I got the, I think I showed you before, I got the windows. Still have to power wash them all, but I have enough windows to do 3 campers. But they were so cheap I couldn't pass on it. So I have options. In order to do some work on the roof of this thing, what I need to do is I need to be a little bit closer to it, not reaching. So in order to do that, I need to support this front end on a different type of jack. This is a tongue jack that would normally be used for a gooseneck trailer. I had intended to purchase 2 of these, put under the front end anyway, just to give the front end some extra support when it was out of the truck. So what I've done is I've temporarily got a 2x4 clamped underneath each of these gussets, and I'm going to cut out the exact shape of that 2x4, and I'm going to install that across the bottom so that I can have some supports to hold this front end up. Just gonna kind of use this as a surprise a little bit later, but you see where in the corners, the brace is higher than the candy cane support, whatever that you want to call them. But the reason that's like that, and it's okay, is because just to give it a little extra zeal, I guess if that's the word, I've taken these two braces off of the center posts. I'm going to have these two center braces actually extend out an extra, probably about 2 inches, so that just the center of this, as it curves up, will be raised a little higher than the outside supports. That'll give it a little bit more of a 1940s classic shape, and it'll all make sense when it's all together. But for now, I'm gonna have to call this video done. Otherwise, if I wait till I get all these things finished, I may not get out this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and publish this one. And I did say I was gonna talk about the supports a little bit more. Basically, all I was gonna say is there's essentially 3 types of supports. And what that is this. There's the original support that I did that had the cutouts to save weight. Then in these compartments, like this is going to be a shower from here to the other wall. It's 24 inches wide. It's meant to stand facing the back. I need solid walls there, and no better place to put a solid wall than right below where the deck is going to be. It's going to hold 2 or 3 people up there. And then I have the third type of brace, which is these what I call small ribs, and those are more just for contour, to hold the contour on the siding.